Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be 3% Man Success Story, quickly getting over a breakup. Well, I was just talking about this in a video newsletter the other day. A guy was just going through a breakup, he was down in the dumps, and I was talking about how obviously the quickest way to get over a woman is to get underneath a new woman or on top of a new woman, especially somebody that's hotter, more fun than your ex or the girl you were dating before. So I got a success story. It's about 6 months in the making, I guess. This guy got dumped. So he's a little further along. He's obviously embraced what I teach. He's going through 3% Man. He's been through it 10 times already in the past 6 months, which is great. That shows a serious, sincere effort. But it's just the beginning, because obviously now he's in the early pickup and dating stage. And obviously once he gets to a relationship, the idea is that you're reading the book and you're applying it through the different stages of dating, courtship, relationship, pickup dating, relationship skills that are laid out in the book. A lot of guys, I see make mistakes at this over the years. They start doing well, they get laid a bunch. They're like, man, I got this. And they're only really just kind of picking up girls, casually dating, hooking up with them, seducing them. And then they just get away from the book completely. Getting into a relationship gets pretty easy, but they never bother learning their relationship wisdom. And then 6 months, a year, 2 years later, when they really need it, they really start to struggle. So this is a process, and you got to master pickup, you got to master dating, and you got to master the relationship aspect if you want to keep it going. So this guy says the reason why he got dumped, he got complacent, he became a little too compliant, and a people pleaser. In other words, he became a really nice guy. This is why nice guys finish last. But since he came across my work, he got serious about taking care of himself. He says he's lost 20 pounds, and he goes to the gym 4 or 5 days a week. And he started dating, so he shares a nice little success story of how he met a beautiful high achiever. Had a great first date, and then she reached out the next night and did the horizontal bop. So if you apply what's in the book, typically most women are going to sleep with a guy by the second or the third date. If you apply what's in the book, oftentimes you get laid in the first date, if not by the second or the third, when your game is tight. You just simply don't talk the women who already like you out of liking you, which is what most guys do without realizing it. So for those of you that have had your heart broken or you're feeling pretty bummed, trust the process that's laid out in the book and commit to that. Because when your opportunity comes, if you've taken the time to read the book 10 times like this guy has so far, things go smooth as butter like this. So he says, hey, Corey, I recently wrote to you about my ex breaking things off with me. The reason she broke up with me is because I got complacent and compliant, ultimately becoming a pleaser instead of the man that God put me on this earth to be. Since the breakup 6 months ago, I've read 3% Man 10 times, The Way of the Superior Man once, and I started on Mastering Yourself. I've lost 20 pounds, started working out 4 to 5 times a week. I've also started my car rental business on Turo, T-U-R-O, I assume I'm saying that right. Although I've yet to gain or get a renter, I am excited for that journey. So does that mean you rent your own personal cars out to people? I don't know how that works. I heard the name Turo before, but maybe you guys can enlighten us in the comments what that's about. Or if you buy cars to purposely rent out, or it's like when you're not using your main car, you let people rent it. I'm not sure how that works. He says, I'm also looking for different opportunities to create more income for myself. Well, you get paid based upon the value that you bring to the marketplace. You get compensated for developing your gifts, your skills, your talents, and growing your reserve of knowledge. So the more your reserve of knowledge and experience grows, the more you develop your gifts, your skills, your talents, the more your compensation goes up, the more other great people hear about you who have great companies and great opportunities, and their headhunters, or maybe them personally, will come and find you and offer you a really great job. So that's why it's great when you shine in your own life and you become extremely competent and confident at it and you're enjoying the hell out of it. People take notice. And other people in your industry will seek you out and throw a lot of money at you to become part of their team, as we've discussed many times and many success stories over the last 20 years. Because really what you're implementing between 3% Man and Mastering Yourself is the cheat codes to life and relationships, your personal and your professional life. So when you apply those things, you're just going to get better results than the average person, because most people major minor things and they're not willing to do it. Most, like you guys that have given this copy of book for your friends, you give it 10 of them, you're lucky if one of them even opens it and starts to read it. Again, most people major in minor things and they just, unless they're in a real jam, they got their heart broken, most guys are just, oh yeah, I got to get around to that. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And they just don't. But when they're in pain, that's usually when they're open to it. He says, I met a beautiful woman who is a high achiever and also rents her cars on Turo. She's also big on self-help and self-improvement as I am. We recently went out on a date where I took her to happy hour. So remember, as the book says, you take them to 3 different places. There's a reason for that. So if you met her online, if you're on a budget, you don't want to spend a lot of money, like a wine bar, 1 glass of wine, that goes well, then you can commit to another place, maybe a dinner. And then if the dinner goes well, you could do something else, some kind of physical activity. But the idea is, as she shows that she's got high interest, then you continue to invest. And when you go to 3 different places, most guys go take a girl to dinner, drinks or whatever, and then boom, they go home. Typically it takes about 4 or 5 hours to seduce a woman on a first date when you really get good at applying what's in the book. And obviously you got to prepare ahead of time. You got to learn the material, so when you're on the date, things just flow smoothly. And this guy even used, after doing this 20 years, some of the lines from my book, they literally use them word for word, and not once have I ever got an email from a guy who's like, that's a Corey Wayne line right out of his book, 3% Man. I know all about that. But it works. It works. The ladies like it. And so obviously we'll get to that in a second. So he says he goes to happy hour, and then he took her to mini golf after that. So that's a physical activity. And most of the time girls don't know how to swing a club. So it gives you a reason to, put your arms around them, show them how to swing the club and get close. They're, button your crotch, that kind of thing, which is always nice and fun and enjoyable. Before you grab them by the pussy later, no, I'm kidding. Don't do that until you really know what you're doing. And she really wants you. Then you can grab them by the pussy, but not until then. So again, the goal is to facilitate physical interaction, because when a girl likes you, she starts touching you. And then that makes it easy to start kissing and caressing and heavy petting, and ultimately going back to your place for a nightcap, maybe sitting in the jacuzzi, or just getting busy in the kitchen. Depending on where she's at. You'll have all different experiences when you read the book and you really start to apply it, because the more easygoing, easy to get along with a woman is, the more comfortable she feels, the more your game just flows like butter. Panties will just effortlessly come right off, over and over and over again. So again, he takes her to mini golf after the happy hour, and then he went to the beach that night. So if they're on the beach, he says, once I saw the signs, I told her that, and so think about that. For the budget guy, the guys that are on a budget, took her to happy hour with 2 for 1, something like that. So drinks are kind of cheap. Then he goes and plays mini golf. He's not getting super drunk. He's not drinking, high alcohol content IPAs or Jack and Coke or anything too crazy. Couple cocktails, goes to mini golf, and which is a physical interaction, and then he goes to the beach. So what does mini golf cost depending on where you're at? So that wasn't even a Top Golf. You could have gone to Top Golf. You can eat and have appetizers and drinks there, and they have specials and things like that. That's a great place. Again, anything that facilitates physical interaction is a good kind of. Typically, I like to do those things at the end, but again, this guy mixed it up a little. He went to happy hour and then mini golf, and then the beach is, for the most part, unless you're paying for parking, is free. Maybe you bring a towel. Maybe you have a towel in there. Maybe you have some Bud Lights in a picnic basket. Hey, boo-boo. Grab some Bud Lights in a picnic basket. Or maybe a bottle of wine on the beach. It's, it's pretty creative. It's a fun romantic evening. I mean, at the end of the day, what is a date? Is you're just having fun with each other. It doesn't have to be something expensive. So it's the idea is you're the fun. You're driving the fun bus, and she's there because she's there to have fun with you, even if you're just chilling on the beach, on a beach towel, or just sitting on your backsides, listening to the beautiful sound of the waves at night. And maybe if you're one of those places that has those photoluminescent plankton or whatever, so when the waves crash on the beach, it lights up. That's pretty cool. If you guys ever been to Puerto Rico, they've got some areas around there that do that. So he says, so here's where he's using a line right from the book, and I always chuckle at this. He says, once I saw the signs, I told her that she might as well just get it over with and kiss me. I literally word for word right out of the book. Then she proceeded to smile and kiss my face off. So again, you could tell that she's ready to kiss you. I assume he's doing the kiss test. She's looking at his lips, maybe even licking her lips as she's doing that. So you just tell her what to do because that's what you're supposed to do. She willingly does it. He says the day after the date, she contacted me, and long story short, we had amazing sex that night. So he has a great date, lots of kissy poo, and then the next day she reaches out, and at some point, he doesn't elaborate what they did, which would have been nice to include that if she maybe just came straight over, or they went on a date and then went back. But at the end of the day, she reached out to him. He's like, hey, you. And she's like, I had a really good time last night. It's like, I did too. I want to see you again when you're available. And she's like, tonight, are you available? I was like, well, why don't you come on over? Grab a bottle of wine, come on over. It depends on the level of rapport. If she's like that and wants to see you and she feels safe and comfortable with you, she might just come right over. Otherwise, maybe you meet her out somewhere near your place. Go have a couple cocktails, maybe an appetizer or two, and then back to your place for some naked twister or something fun. Or some Uno, and then maybe naked twister afterwards. I'm definitely taking measured steps, but it's funny seeing how her not being able to have her way with me being mysterious, and me taking the lead has made her very interested. Well, she already liked you. She already fantasized about sleeping with you when she first saw you. And what you did successfully, like James fucking Bond, was you didn't talk her out of liking you. You created the conditions where it could be just like something out of a movie and a love story. We met this guy and sparks just happened, and the next night we had incredible passionate sex. We made love. It was amazing underneath the stars on the beach or whatever. But the sand getting into some areas that are moist and aren't really good for, you don't want to get any sand in the love tunnel there. That can be some bad friction. So you got to be careful if you're going to be on the beach. I'm not focused on getting my ex back, and I'm simply focused on moving on and growing as a man. I'm going to continue to date and meet other women, but more importantly, focus on my purpose and mission in life. Well, that's what gives a man's life meaning, is a purpose and a mission. And then the woman comes along to share and help him in that purpose and mission, to be your teammate and your lover. He says, thank you, Corey. I am becoming a 3% man. Well, congratulations on getting underneath and on top of a new lady, because again, an evening like this, even if it was only weeks ago that you broke up and you feel like it's, you're never going to survive it, your life is over, your world is over, she's so amazing, and next thing you know, you're bumping uglies with a beautiful girl who has some of the same values and goals as you. Doesn't mean she's his future ex-wife, but it's a lot of fun. And it makes it easy to move on when those kinds of things happen. And, again, he read the book 10 times. He knew what to look for. So when he was on that date, he wasn't going, oh, fuck, what was on page 50? I know there was this, what was that fucking line? What did he say? And when you've been through it 10 times, you're just like, you can drop something literally word for word that you memorized from the book. And I don't know, the billionth time it's been used over the last 20, 25 years, it's like, it always works. She's ripe. She's in the moment. And you say something like that, it's like, that sounds like something James Bond would say. And, of course, she complies. And, again, it makes it very easy to move on. Excuse me. To move on when these kinds of great things happen to you. So if you got a question or challenge and you'd like to get my help, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the coaching tab at the top of your screen on any page of my website, and book a coaching session with yours truly. If If you haven't already signed up for our exclusive premium members-only content, in the video description is video. There are links to join on YouTube, or you can join on Spotify or our website, understandingrelationships.com. Just click the plans tab when you get there, and the good news is with our website, you can do a 7-day free trial to check out all the great content you get. And if you choose an annual plan, you can get a 25% discount at the end of the 7-day free trial. And obviously we can only do that on the website. YouTube and Spotify don't have that. But subscribe on whatever platform of your choice. Obviously you can get the best deal on our website. But consume the content where you like best. We appreciate you being premium members. And if you got a great question or a success story you want to send in, questions with an S at understandingrelationships, that's relationships with an S.com. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.